Okay, last week you learned how to add and subtract rational expressions. Today we will look at a skill that is a bit tedious and sometimes challenging. However, this skill is necessary in pre-calc when verifying trig identities and in calculus when evaluating a difference quotient. You'll have to complete this process in other situations as well. These are just two really important situations that come to mind. So today we will study simplifying complex fractions. What is a complex fraction? Well, a complex fraction is a fraction that contains a fraction in the numerator or denominator. A complex fraction can be simplified using either of the methods below. So these are two options that you have. Method 1, if necessary, simplify the numerator and denominator by writing each as a single fraction, then divide the numerator by the denominator. Method 2 is multiply the numerator and denominator by the least common denominator of every fraction in the numerator and denominator and then simplify. This is the method that we're going to focus on and that we're going to use. So I'm going to demonstrate this method for you today in this video, and this is what I expect you to use moving forward. So let me show you what I mean. Example number 1, you're asked to simplify the fraction 2 over x minus 4 all over 2 over x plus 3. So what we're going to try and do is to identify the least common denominator of all the fractions that we see here. So what I'm going to do on the right here, I don't know why that did that. Let's move that back down. On the right here, I'm going to write equals. All right, and I'm just going to write this a little bit larger so it's easier for us to see. And what I'm also going to do is put 4 over 1. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the denominator here. So 2 over x plus 3 over 1. So now what I'm doing is searching for the lowest or the least common denominator of all the terms in the numerator and then all the terms in the denominator. So let's look at the numerator first. We've got 2 over x minus 4 over 1. So the LCD for the numerator is x. Okay, so that's the least common denominator for the numerator. Now let's look at the LCD for the denominator. So again, here we have x and 1. So again, the LCD for the numerator and for the two fractions in the denominator is x. So if we look, the only factor that we see in the numerator and denominator is x. So the LCD for the numerator and denominator in this case is going to be just x. And this should be denom. So all we have to do here to simplify this is to multiply the numerator and denominator by x. All right, so we need to use the distributive property. Now I'm going to write out these intermediate steps, but you're not going to have to do that in the future if you don't want to. So here we go. X times 2 over x is going to be 2x over x. X times negative 4 over 1 is negative 4x over 1. All right, so we've distributed in the numerator. Now we're going to do the same thing in the denominator. So we have 2x over x, and then x times positive 3 is positive 3x over 1. So the cool thing here is that we can start simplifying and nice things are going to start to happen. So if you look at this first term in the numerator, there's a common factor in the numerator and denominator that can divide out. And 4x over 1 is just 4x. So the numerator is just going to reduce to 2 minus 4x. Something similar is going to happen in the denominator. Again, if we look at this first fraction, the common factor of x divides out and we get 2 plus 3x. And now what we can do is just check and see if we can simplify anything else with our result here. So 2 minus 4x looks like there's a GCF of 2. So we get 2 times 1 minus 2x. And then in the denominator, it doesn't appear like there's any other common factors. So this right here would be your final answer. Also, too, just as an aside here, this answer right here, if we can't factor out any common factors from the numerator and denominator, is going to be an acceptable answer as well. All right, so let's look at one that's a little bit more involved. All right, so we're asked to simplify 5 over x plus 4 over 1 over x plus 4 plus 2 over x. So again, I'm going to write this just a little bit larger so it's a little bit easier for us to see. All right, so I'm going to go through the same process that I went through when we simplified example number 1. So let's look at the denominator. Well, the denominator, there's only one fraction. So the numerator rather. The least common denominator of the numerator is just, well, the only denominator we have, which is x plus 4. In the denominator of this fraction, grab a different color pen here real quick. Now we have two fractions, one with a denominator of x plus 4, one with a denominator of x. So here, the lowest or the least common denominator of the denominator would be x times x plus 4. So if we look, they both share the least common denominators of the numerator and denominator of these fractions share the factor x plus 4. And the denominator has the additional factor of x. So the LCD of the numerator and denominator is x times x plus 4. So again, we're going to go through the same process that we went through in example number 1. We're going to multiply the top by x times x plus 4, and also the bottom by x times x plus 4. And we're going to use the distributive property. Now this time, I'm not going to write the intermediate step, but I'm just going to explain what's happening. All right, so here when we distribute, there's going to be a common factor in the numerator and denominator of x plus 4 that's going to divide out. So when we multiply that out, we're going to be left with 5x. In the denominator, we're going to multiply by x times x plus 4. So this is going to be x times x plus 4 over x plus 4, which is going to leave us with just x. And then here when we distribute, we have 2 times x plus 4 all over x. So the x's will divide out, and this is going to give us plus 2 times x plus 4. So now it's just a matter of simplifying the numerator a little bit further, 5x, and denominator as well, x plus 2x plus 8. And then to finish this off, x plus 2x is 3x, so we should get 5x over 3x plus 8. Now, again, this is one of those skills that a little bit tedious, a little bit time consuming, but with some practice, I think you'll get this down pretty well. So as usual, feel free to email me with any questions or concerns, and I hope this video helped out. Talk to you soon, and we'll see you in the next one.